episode 3. What if the Red Soldier stopped the Winter Soldier? And it's your boy Icon with a Marvel television animated review for you. And before we get started, hit the notification bell, like and or subscribe to my channel, leave comments down below. And let's get started, because yeah, I don't know how I feel about What If so far. I don't know how I feel about What If. But let's talk about it and see. I mean, there were 3 episodes deep. This was the better of of the 3 episodes so far, but not by much. But the episode starts with we're in the mother of Russia. And the Red Soldier, he's basically the Russian Captain America, and he said that his boss got intel from someone named the Rook, who lives in America, who got information on a high-value target. So this takes us back to the time where the Winter Soldier was going to kill Howard Stark and Tony's mother, just so he can get the secrets and all this other crap. So, but for whatever reason, Red Soldier was actually sent down there, I guess to stop the Winter Soldier from doing that. So he goes down to stop the Winter Soldier. And when he gets there, so we're at the part where the Winter Soldier, he's getting ready to kill Howard Stark and the mom. But then the Red Soldier shows up and he stops the Winter Soldier, and then he's just like, oh, don't kill them. And then, Bucky's like, I have to kill them. That's my mission. But he was like, oh, but you don't have to kill them, because he said that, just leave them alive and they can tell the world, that Russia is coming and like we're better and all this other stuff. And then turn into this whole big conflict. The police show up. So now his mission failed, because again, the mission was for him to kill Howard Stark, and he didn't kill Howard Stark. He wasn't supposed to leave witnesses. He didn't leave any witnesses. And now the two of them are on the run because the cops are after both of them. Now, one of the agents that showed up on the case, he was the black dude that teamed with Hank Pym. I believe he was like Giant Man. He had the Ant-Man giant costume, and he worked with, Hank Pym in S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 80s. We did see a clip of him as an old man, I think, in one of the Ant-Man movies. He was in previous What If series. I mean, we don't talk about that guy enough. The same way how even in the Captain America, like A Brave New World, how like nobody talks about the first black Captain America, the first person who had the super soldier serum. At the same time, it's like we don't talk about the black Ant-Man or the black Giant Man, because that's pretty much taboo. So now, because their mission failed and they didn't kill Stark, the Red Soldier and the Winter Soldier basically team up together, and they're going to make their way to Vegas so they can go talk to the Rook, because apparently the Rook lives in Vegas, and they're going to talk to him so they can get safe passage out of Russia. Giant Man teams up with the police, and he's chasing them across country. The Red Soldier was very annoying. He was very annoying. And it got to the point where it wasn't even funny anymore. He was just obnoxious, and it was kind of a pain in the ass to like listen to him the entire time. But we press on. So we finally get to Vegas. And then, well, before we got to Vegas, there was a chase scene where Giant Man actually tried to stop them. It didn't work. For a person who can grow that tall, he was getting his ass whooped a lot. Now, I don't know how I appreciate like him getting his ass whooped like that, but they ended up going over a cliff, Thelma and Louise style. The two of them are in hiding, still trying to make their way to Vegas. And while they're in Vegas, the Winter Soldier, Hydra, they call Bucky, and they're just like, hey, you need to kill the Red Soldier because like he's a thorn in our side. But over the course of the episode, the two of them actually got to know each other. They actually bonded with each other, and Bucky can see that he was actually a good man. So they finally get to Vegas. They go and talk to the Rook, and then we find out that the person who's the Rook is actually the villain in the first Iron Man movie. The guy who, he was running the company, and he set up Tony Stark to get Tony Stark killed overseas. He was the person that basically like gave the information to Hydra to try to kill Howard Stark and his wife, because his whole purpose was he wanted to run Stark Industries, and he needed Howard out of the way. When they found this out, and then he tried to kill the two of them. When they found that out and he tried to kill the two of them, Bucky killed him, knocked him out the window, and they're running from the police officers, and they're running from Giant Man. So when they're running from Giant Man, they get cornered into this warehouse. And while they're cornered into this warehouse, Hydra shows up, and they start reciting the code to get Bucky to comply. While this was happening, Bucky was trying to like fight it, and then the Red Soldier was just like, "Oh, you are a good man. You are a hero. Like you cannot succumb to the power of like your captives, whatever." And then Bucky just like mentally shrugs off the power, and he just shrugs off like the mind control, and now he's no longer mind controlled. So then both Bucky and the Red Soldier, they fight everybody, and I guess they escape somehow. I'm very confused on the details as to what happened here. So I guess then the Red Soldier got away. Bucky was captured by the Americans, who kept asking him like, "Hey, no, he was captured by Hydra because Hydra was about to brainwash him again." And then they kept asking him. They were just like, "Oh, where's the Red Soldier?" And then he was like, "Oh, he's gone," and like he died a hero and blah blah blah. So they put Bucky back under ice. They mind control him again, and then we find out that the Red Soldier is living in some random place in America teaching like children's volleyball. Giant Man, he shows up again, Nick Fury style, and he's just like, "Hey, S.H.I.E.L.D. was founded to try to protect the world. How would you like to work for the U.S. government and protect the world?" And then in the end scene, like he ends up saying yes, and then we get the scene in the end in the first Avengers movie where the Avengers are getting ready to fight the aliens, and then the Red Soldier comes out of nowhere because he's a part of the team now. It wasn't funny. It was very awkward. Having the Red Soldier and having Captain America is, putting a hat on a hat. It was too much. I wasn't really impressed by this episode, but that was how it ended, and thank you for tuning in. I mean, it is interesting. Like, I will say this, that the concept of what if Bucky didn't kill Howard Stark, that was an interesting concept. It was like, that what if does make sense to me. But having the Red Soldier be the person to try to like team up with him and for the two of them to like do the whole Thelma and Louise thing together, and just the fact that he was annoying as hell like the entire time, I mean, that kind of ruined the episode for me. But it did have a lot of action in it, like it did have a lot of action in it. Well, the female police officer that teamed up with Giant Man, she said her name was her last name was Morales, and I was like, oh, do the two of them end up birthing Miles Morales? I was like, that would have been cool if that turns out to be a thing. But I don't know what's happening here, because we're 3 episodes in and Marvel is using basically like the worst cast of characters of all time, so there's very little interest in like because it's like, I don't care about the people, but there's got to be a better story here at the end, and and because they're giving us 1 episode every single day, that kind of says to me they don't care about it either, and they're just trying to get it over with. But I am interested to continue the ride, see where it all leads, and like I said, let's continue to talk about it. Did you like this particular episode of Marvel's What If? Was it interesting to you? Was there anything about it that piqued your interest? Like I said, let's get the conversation going down below. Check out my other reviews, because obviously I have the other episodes of Marvel's What If on my channel, and then I also have Creature Commandos up on my channel, which is still going strong. The next episode of Marvel's What If is the Howard the Duck episode, dear God. So I don't anticipate anything great happening in that either, because when you put Howard the Duck and Darcy together, it's basically going to be a train wreck. So that was it, guys. So thank you for tuning in as we review some more of Marvel's What If as we reach the end. This is the final season. Until next time for some more Red Soldier action. Hopefully not. And until then, we're out this bitch!